What's up, everyone? I'm Cynthia Conte, and welcome to another edition of the best women's boxing show, period. I've got a special guest, Rougarou himself, Regis Prograis. Welcome to the show.
Thank
I
you.
don't know. I don't think you've ever been officially on our show with Giandra and I. Giandra couldn't be on the show today, but
I
you guys are
have, I
back.
have, I
Have
have.
you? I don't remember.
Yes, I think maybe twice.
I don't
This might be my
remember.
third time. I think
I've
I
had
know
you
for
on
sure.
Ring. I've had you on Ring many times. I don't know about our show.
No, I had y'all this show. I did.
Well,
Yes.
anywho, if it is your first show, it is a very special show because not only that you just have, a little fight that's happening October 26th. I don't
Right.
care about that right now because what I care about is this.
Thank
This
you.
book, you guys, this book, when I remember seeing it dropped on Twitter, it's called Stories and Lessons from Regis Prograis, as told to Ross Williams. I was like, he wrote a book? Wait, you didn't advertise it. You didn't even do PR. It just came out. Before we get into the book, why did you feel this was the time to write a book when your story is still going, your career is still going?
I just felt like it was just time to tell this part of my story. Like I feel like the whole thing was we started the book. I think me and Ross started the book like probably in maybe like 2017 or 2018. And the perfect ending was all right to become a two-time champion, not just become a champion. The perfect ending was to become a two-time champion. So I thought like, man, all right, this is a good ending, and let's just end it here. And we was working on it for a long time. Me and he was working on it. Was like casually being done for a long time. The last final stage, we kind of picked up the pace a lot. But at first it wasn't too much stress on me at first because we like kind of like I said, we kind of casually just he did everything for me really. I just told him my stories and he just put everything into the into the pages. For me, it came out perfect at the the right time. He gave me the book and he told me it was done right when I left to go to California to start training for the Haney fight.
I've been covering you since 2017. So basically when you started your book, I didn't, I only know of you what I researched, but really learning about who Regis was. I know that you were named after your uncle. I didn't know he passed away of leukemia at a very, very young age. I understand because my father passed away of leukemia. It was such a beautiful tribute that you were named after him. And just the things about your parents, because I know a little bit about your mom that when you bought her a house, but like now knowing the backstory of your family, when you always say, you know what, I've been through adversity, Houston and New Orleans, but you guys, you have to read this book to really know and understand Regis's life because it is a beautiful, sad, it's empowering
It'd be funny.
story.
Yeah, it could be.
It's
It
funny.
could be
Yeah, it's
beautiful,
actually
sad.
I
Some parts
had
was
you
funny.
you had me laughing
Yeah,
out loud at a couple things, and I was like,
right,
oh
right,
shit,
right.
Regis, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I want to touch on some of the things. Your parents molded you to be a scholar and a college student, but you had the passion for learning, but you hated school. And I know this because you
Right.
always tell me you love books, you love to read books. What was it that you just didn't want to do books? You just didn't want
It's
to
just,
sit in class?
yeah, it's just the class thing. I was always a class clown. I mean, knowing what I know now, obviously I would have paid more attention to school and stuff. But for me, it's like when I was younger, I wanted to be the popular kid, and I was always like the popular kid coming up in class. So I wanted to be like the class clown, the person, the girls like, and and just that popular kid. That popular kid is not the kid that's sitting in front that that reads books and stuff like that. So I didn't start like figuring out that until later in life. Like I think I started start really picking up on reading obviously when I was out of school, but probably when I was like 19 or 20, that's when I started reading. After that I just love reading. I just pick up anything I can read. And now I've read so many books. Like usually I go to a bookstore and I will pick things out, but like I've read so many good books now to where somebody has to recommend me a book. I'm not gonna just go to the store and just waste my money no more. Like it's just like it's kind of like a movie to me. You don't if you've seen so many movies over and over again all the time, now you just want only good movies. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
that's the same thing with me now. It's like I only want good books now. So something that somebody will recommend me, I don't just go pick up books no more. But yeah, like my dad, he's big into that. I mean, me and my daddy fuss every day now, and he's like he says all the time, he fusses with me, but he says, "Oh, I'm teaching." But he's big on education. He's always been big on education. But I never been that way because it's like, growing up, I always wanted to be rich. I'm not gonna lie. And when I only seen that athletes was rich, I mean, I knew I grew up around like Lil Wayne and stuff like that and the Hot Boys, and I saw them, they was, they had all the money, they was rich and stuff, but it was just like I knew I'm not a rapper, you know, but then I would know about the athletes and stuff, and I would see these athletes, and I was like, man, I want to be like that. So, you know, I did everything. I did every sport. I mean, the first thing was like karate, and I got out of that because I was kind of too rough, and I did football, basketball, I did track, I did some baseball, swam a little bit, but it's just like that wasn't really what I like. And my first love was basketball. I love basketball, but I never liked to practice. I never liked to train. But then I started boxing. It was like, all right, I love boxing. I really do, and I can tolerate the training. I love to train. Obviously, sparring is my favorite thing to do, but everything else I still like to train. And I knew the academic way wasn't gonna be my way because I just didn't like school. And to answer your, I know we got off subject. In class, they teach you something. They make you learn that specific thing. Like me, I'm on my own pace, so I want to learn what I want to learn. So that's why. And I mean, I tried college. I went to TSU, Texas Southern University, for one semester. It just wasn't for me. And then after I was like, I'm done. And then at that time, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I mean, you read the book. I didn't know what I was gonna do. All right, what's gonna happen? Then I heard on the radio about being a personal trainer. I was like, that's something I would love to do. And I did that. And I was a trainer for 6 years, well, for 8 years at LA Fitness, for 6 years, and another 2 at Title Boxing, and until the boxing started picking up.
I love that because, going back to your story, just the hardships of, you always talk about your sister. I really didn't realize how close you were because you were the bigger brother, and as she emulated everything. And I read the story of where you guys got in trouble. Well, she followed you doing in a store of doing certain things, and then she farted and when she got arrested. But that was the part I laughed out so loud. It's how you guys are as family, and no matter what, even your friends were your family, and going back and forth to school, like it really hit me hard because I really saw your book to me was two parts. The part that I didn't know about you was playing in a movie in my mind of like what was happening with Regis. And then the last part is the part that I covered of your career because I was part of it, because I worked your fights. I wrote a lot of quotes that were really, really like outstanding to me. Mom had tough love, father's hurting cultivated you balance of empathy and aggressive, because they ended up divorcing, and it really, really put a rift between you guys. But it was really sweet that your mom and dad were still able to co-parent in hard times, very, very hard times for you guys. What did you learn about your parents at such a young age?
Well, the thing was, it was like tough because, all right, like my daddy was somebody that was there all the time. He like earlier in my life, my mama took us everywhere. She was the person that took us to the museum. She did all the kids stuff with us. And then we started getting into sports, and my mama wasn't into that. My mom was real big when we was young, really, really big, heavy set. So she didn't take us to the sports, and New Orleans is a hot city just like Houston. So outside people don't do that stuff. So then it was my dad. He took us to all our sports. And my mom would go to games and stuff, but he would take us to all our sports. And so he was there all the time. And then one day he literally just was like, he sat us down like, listen, it's not working between me and your mom. And we already felt it. We already knew. He started sleeping in my sister's room and all that type of stuff. So it's like, all right. Then he sat us down. He was like, all right, one day, eventually, I'm going to leave. I can laugh at it now, but one day, eventually, I'm going to leave. And literally, I think like 2 days later, he left, and that was it. He just gone. Like, so you have something that's in your life consistent all the time until like zero, and it was just gone. And I think he left when I was like 15 or something like that. And yeah, he was just gone. He was just out. And I remember he came back on one of the weekends. He had a bunch of stuff in our garage to get computers and stuff. He did that, and we didn't see him no more for a long time. We went to his job. Me and my grandma went to his job. He didn't like that. And after that, we was kind of like living, it was just me, my mama, and my sister. That was it. And then after that, that's when I really picked up the boxing. I feel like now I know what it was. I mean, I love boxing, but I know what it was. It was like the anger I had inside me. I had a lot of anger inside me at that time, and I mean, luckily it just turned out to what it became. But I had a lot of anger. So I was just like want to fight all the time. And I didn't want to fight on the street but I was still happy in boxing. I just loved to do it. But it's a good thing because it let out all my anger. Hurricane Katrina hit, then we had to leave. We had to relocate. And still after that, I ain't talked to my daddy for long. I didn't know if he was dead or alive. I mean, I'm pretty sure my daddy, he like me, he a survivor. He can go through anything. That's just him. He just one of those old school tough men that was brought up in Detroit in the 1960s and 70s through riots and all that stuff. So I know he was gonna be all right, but at the same time, we didn't have no contact, and I didn't know if he was like dead or alive. After Hurricane Katrina.
When you talk about your father, and when I read of what happened to you, I obviously didn't know this until I read it, is that you were a drug dealer, obviously, because you had to make ends meet, and you ended up arrested. And, it's part of your story. Do you feel that the absence of your father led you in that direction, that you didn't have a male presence in your life? You just had your friends and then your mom, and then everything around you that was going on. Did that
Yeah.
deter you going to that path?
Yeah, well, before I wouldn't say I was a drug dealer. I
Okay, you
sold
pushed
like
some pills.
I
You were the
sold
worst
some
drug dealer.
pills. I was a terrible drug. I was the worst drug dealer probably ever. And it was like I pushed some. I was selling some. Yeah, I guess I was a little quick drug dealer. I was selling some pills out here in Houston. This was like because my mama, she was like, I used to always tell my mama when I was young. I said I'm gonna be rich. I'm guaranteed I'm gonna be rich one day. And she used to always, you gotta clean up. You gotta clean up. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna have maids for that one day. And it's crazy. It happened. I always ask my mama, did you really believe me, or did you, because a lot of people, everybody say that when they're young, but a lot of people they be full of shit. So I used to tell her all the time. But anyways, my mama, she know I love boxing, but she didn't know it was gonna pay off and stuff. But she always used to tell me, all right, come on. I was 18, 19, so I had to get a job, I had to do something. And this was like, all right, my friend at the time, my friends, that's what they was doing. When I was younger, I had older friends. So when I was in high school, like 16, 17, I had some friends, they was, like 20s or something like that. And they had their own apartments and own cars. And so you thinking, man, they doing it. And that's what they did. They sold pills and stuff. Knowing now they was living in an apartment, they wasn't doing nothing. But still, as somebody don't have no money, that's big to us. So I just started doing the same thing. I started selling little pills and stuff. And then the story I brought to New Orleans, trying to sell pills in New Orleans, and then it just, it didn't go right. And I was like, thank God that, I stopped this at that time, because I could have been, I mean, from that, I could have been dead. So I'm glad that, yeah, I stopped right when I stopped.
I think what was very profounding when you were arrested and whatever happened, because like you said, you could have been dead. Your dad said you had a spirit guiding your life.
Yeah.
You've always had it. Do you believe that was your Uncle Regis?
I feel it's something. Yeah, maybe it's my Uncle Reeves. Maybe yeah, that's what my dad says. It's a namesake type of thing. I still feel like to this day. Like I feel like I'm not gonna say I'm invincible or nothing like that, but I always feel like I have something. Something that's just always guide me in the right way. No matter what happens with me, like something always just guides me in the right way. Lucky. I don't know what it is, but I do. And maybe that is my uncle or something like that. And now my grandpa's dead. He's up there. Now my other grandma, she's dead. Now my other grandpas, both of my grandpas are dead, and one of my grandmas is dead. So maybe it's more up there. But I felt like I did feel like that for a long time. I mean, I still feel like that. I always feel like something is just there. Something is there, and something is guiding me. And maybe that's what it is.
They're yanking you, Regis. Don't do that. Don't do that. They're pulling you by your hair. You never know. Your book is so different because even just by the title, Stories and Lessons, I didn't know what to expect, because you just think of a book and chapters,
Right.
but the way you tell it, it's like I feel like you're telling me as a friend, and this is what happened to me next, and this is what I learned. One of the main focal points in your life that really shifted you to become on the road to Regis Ruguru Prograis was your friend Cedric's passing. His death made you realize boxing was for you. Am I correct?
Nah, I'm not. All right. I'm so with that. All right. So Cedric was like, I know in the book we have that he was a real close friend, but Cedric was a like New Orleans is a small city. My mama and his mama was, they was close when they was younger. They went to the same school. So obviously, we grew up around the same age. He was like a year older than me. And we wasn't like super close, but it was somebody that I knew along the way all the time. But yeah, basically I guess how I got my start into boxing was like I was fighting in the gloves at school, and everybody was in the gloves and stuff like that. And I knocked on the door, and everybody kind of was quiet. And then me and my friends opened the door, and everybody, they had somebody in the middle of the classroom with some gloves on, and they said, "Y'all can't come in." This was all like the football players, cheerleaders, all the popular people in school at the time. I was in the 10th grade, and this was like 11th and 12th grades. Like I said, he was a year older than me, so he's in 11th grade. But this was all like juniors and seniors in the football team, all the popular people, cheerleader, all that stuff. So me and my friends, we knocked on the door, and they were saying y'all can't come in unless somebody gets in the gloves, because they had somebody in the middle of with the gloves on already. And so all my friends, they just left. All my friends that was with me walk in, they just, I'm not doing it. So at that time I walked in and said, yeah, like I was peeking my head, and then Cedric, he looked at me. And I knew him from elementary school. Like I said, growing up, my mamas knew each other. So he kind of looked at me, he gave me a look, was like, you know, and I put the gloves on, and then I beat the hell out the dude. And then after that, like I was like top in the school. I was always a class clown in the ninth and 10th grade. But after that, it was like I was known for just knowing how to fight. That basically, like I said, with Cedric, he was he was like a distant friend, somebody all the time, but he wasn't like one of my best friends or something. Like I wouldn't say he like one of my best friends, but he was somebody that, we just knew along the way.
It's a beautiful story of just your childhood and your upbringing. It's nice to see the transition of the adversity, and you really really grinded your ass off to become a boxer. I mean, it
Right.
wasn't easy for you. It's not easy for majority of people, but
Mhm.
like you said, I think you are the first person, maybe that I don't know, to actually land a contract on Twitter through Lou DiBella. I know with
Yeah.
Katie Taylor, she DM'd Eddie Hearn, and I think also Andy Ruiz is like, I got you since when Joshua needed an opponent. So who
Okay.
knew social media would actually help you? And Lou DiBella
Yeah.
guided your career for a while, got you some of the bigger fights that you needed. And when you came out, I will never forget when I interviewed you. I'm like, what the hell's a Rougarou? Like you
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
dad was the one that gave you the nickname. Was there something else that you would have been named besides Rougarou that could have best represented you?
I think Ruger just fits so perfectly. I was always a fan of just having my own name, but Ruger kind of just fits so perfectly. Like, it was my dad and my manager, my coach was just throwing out names. My coach was like Rifle Regis program. I was like, nah, definitely not. Crescent City Crusher, Nola Knuckles, all that type of stuff. I was like, nah, that's just not it. And my daddy said the Ruger, and like I didn't know what it was at the time either. I didn't know what a Ruger was, because that's more the Ruger is more like we're in New Orleans, so we're more urban, basically. Like the Ruger is more like backwoods Louisiana type of stuff. They all know what they have. They have a Ruger Fest, matter of fact, coming up in October. Yeah, we don't really know about that stuff too much. I mean, we do. Some people, obviously the older people know, but it's more like the backwoods Louisiana type of stuff that people that live in the woods and all that type of stuff. I'm from like the city, so we don't know about that. We don't know about that stuff too much.
You're a city Rougarou.
I'm a city Ruru. Yeah, I'm not the swamp Ruru. I'm the city Ruru. I mean, New Orleans is considered the swamp, but I'm still at the end of the day, like I'm urban. I'm a city boy.
There's a quote that you said, and there's two of them. I just want to say, intentionally making myself comfortable on a consistent basis paid off when I needed it the most. A lot of people always like to be in their comfort zone because
Right.
they just want to be in their comfort zone.
Right.
But you've always been uncomfortable. That's the only way you grew. Did you know
Yeah.
that early on that this was the way to go? Is that you cannot be like making, say, your first $5,000 or $10,000? Did you know that you were content, or you knew that you just had to get in there and get in the trenches to make more?
No, I always wanted more. I mean, still, I think and still right now I have a problem with this. Like I have everything. Like I always said, I want to be rich when I was young, and I am rich now. But it's like I'm definitely not content because I know how much more I have to go. Right now I'm so focused on being a three-time champion. I'm honestly, I feel like it's not gonna be a hard thing to do for me. I know that I have the skills to be a three-time champion, maybe undisputed or something like that if I want to keep going, but I'm just not content. Every day I'm always thinking about how can I get better. That's what I do. So I live uncomfortable it's like every single day you want to do something that's takes you out your comfort zone. And like I know I have a problem with this because my wife tell me like it's like I want excellence and I expect it from my whole household. And it is hard. I said this, I was it's like a YouTube thing right now, but I was in Dominican Republic like a few months ago, and when I was out there for a week, and I really just enjoyed myself. But that's not the and really it's not fair to my wife because she doesn't get that part of me. She gets the part of me like every single I train like because at home I have my own gym. So every single day I train. If I'm in camp, if I don't train, if I'm in camp or not camp, I train every single day. I eat right. I eat clean. I make sure my kid is doing the same thing. I read. I study my boxing. It's so like my day is filled with consistent, just hard work every day. And I feel like it's not fair to her because she gets to see that she has to deal with that side of me, of the excellent side. But when I was in Dominican Republic, it's just like I can just let go. It's just me and my cousin went out there, and it's just like I can just let go. I can just have fun. I don't have to wake up at a certain time. I don't have to go to sleep at a certain time. I can just do what I want. I can eat what I want. I was in the casino gambling. I was in the clubs just doing what I want. I can just have fun. At home, I'm not like that. Every single day, I'm super serious about my craft. Every day I have a list of things I have to do every single day. I told her, I know it's not fair to you, but you don't get the fun part as much. You just get the serious part for the most time, and I know it's not fair to her.
I'm glad that you mentioned Raquel because I really had no idea. I mean, your wife is lovely. I love her. Your kids are beautiful. I didn't know how young you guys were when you met. And it was because
Yes.
of her aunt that you were training. And she has been your ride or die since you basically fell in love. You guys got married without anyone knowing.
Right.
And so she's always seen that side of you. And she was the breadwinner at first, you guys. She was the one. And then
Yep.
now, but it's good that you learn how to unplug and you enjoy the fruits of your labor. You have to, it's called balance. It's called balance for you.
It's just like my balance isn't there so much because I like I said, if I didn't have a fight right now, I'll still be training. That's the thing. The only time I really unplug is when I travel. That's the thing. So, and I would try the thing is, if me and Hakel didn't have kids, we probably wouldn't live nowhere. We'll just be going just getting Airbnbs all around. But the only way, the reason I live here now is just because we have 3 kids together, and they have to have a home base.
Yeah.
You have to have stability at home base, because at first we did move all around. My son, I think his first like 3 years of school, he went to all 3 different schools. We was in LA at first, and then we came back here, was in a different school, then we moved to another side of Houston, a different school, and we do travel a lot. But I know I do have a trouble with that, because I just, like I said, I have a goal. And so when you have that goal and you just so determined, you so focused, it's hard for me not to do it every single day, because and that come from reading all those books, all those self-help books and stuff like that. I just want to get better every single day, and it's hard for me to like unplug. So but I told her, I said, listen, give me about 3 years. And then after that, we can, we'll see. I'm 35 right now, so give me 3 years. And it probably, like, how I'm feeling right now in the gym and how I'm doing, it might be longer than that, but I say give me 3 hard years. Like I'm gonna get 3 really, really hard years. Like I'm talking about training every single day, doing everything I have to do, and then let's see where it goes. I probably can't stop in 3 years because I am addicted to boxing, but I told her, let's 3 years, and then maybe I don't be as serious.
That is a start. That's a good number. But like you just said, you are looking to be a 3-time world champion. Now we can talk about the fight. Jack Catterall, he is, I did see that your spicy little press conference. And unfortunately, you were actually just training down the street from me here at DLX Boxing in Las Vegas. And sadly enough, your fight got canceled. Let me ask you, do you think Jack Catterall was really hurt? Or was he watching you on your socials looking all, you're ready?
Boxing is a small world. People talk. I was in the gym with, a lot of people I don't know. So yeah, people talk. They probably like, shit, Regis on fire. You might need to, something might need to go on, because I was doing so good. I was training my ass off out there at DLX. I was having a good camp, but at the same time, like, everything happened for a reason, and that didn't leave. All the stuff that was there, it's like more intense right now. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was hurt, maybe he wasn't, but I feel like no matter if he was hurt or if he wasn't, it still plays to my advantage. No matter what, I just know that Jack is not a better fighter than me. No matter how we put it, we can fight anyway. That's why at first Matchroom offered me a lot of fights, and I was like, no, I turned a lot of fights down. It was like, why? Like,
who did you turn down, if you can say?
Who
Okay, you won't. I know you won't spill the tea. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it was just like, I mean, I wasn't turning people down, but the people that was working for me at the time, he was like, nah, that don't make sense. For me, listen, I fight anybody, I don't care. But the people that was working for me at the time, it was like, nah, don't make sense. They were like, all right, Catterall. I'm like, cool, let's do it. And I mean, I put out the video when I was in Japan. They first offered that fight to me in Japan, and when I was in Japan, and I said, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we could definitely do a Jack Catterall fight. And then after that, I didn't hear nothing back from him. And I thought that I was gonna fight Matias. I thought me and Matias was going
Yeah.
back and forth. I thought I was gonna fight Super Matias. He was supposed to get past Leon Paro. And I was like, damn, I was really tuned into that fight. I thought I was gonna fight him. And we did, I don't know if you saw the little thing we did on the phone, but I don't know if he took him lightly or not, but he was talking all this stuff and he gonna do this, hurt me, put me in hospital and stuff. I'm like, all right, bro, like, listen, get past your fight, then we go fight. And he literally lost the fight. He didn't get past the fight. So I'm like, damn. So I'm thinking, all right, after that, I'm past Matias. I don't want to fight Matias. I want to fight for the belt. That's it. Everybody know I want to get in on the road to get back to being a champion again. So if you're not that road, it doesn't make sense. So I'm past Matias. So I thought, all right, how about I fight Liam Paro? And I thought I was really gonna get the fight with Liam Paro because we were supposed to fight already. Like when I was a WBC champion, he was my fight. I was supposed to fight him in New Orleans. So I'm like, all right, I gave him opportunity. Why not give me an opportunity? I didn't hear nothing back. I heard that that's not gonna happen. So it's like, all right, well, you gave me Catterall. That's good. And I feel like Catterall it's the biggest fight you can make at 140 without the belts on the line. So that's perfect. Give me that. That's perfect. And I'll take it. And I know Jack is not better than me. I mean, Jack has nice kid, cool family and stuff. Sam Jones, he talk a lot of shit, but he's cool. I like them, but Jack is just he's just not on my level no matter what. He got famous from the Josh Taylor thing, but listen, besides that, it's nothing else on his resume. Nothing. He fought old Linares, he fought Foley. I mean, what is on his, he fought Tyrone McKenna, who I fought also, and he went the distance with Tyrone McKenna. I stopped him. So, like what is I don't see how people think that, is he gonna beat me. But whatever, I like it.
I know. No, I think it's a great grudge match. I mean, you have a loss against Taylor and he does too. And you have your loss against Haney. So those are names that are good names to have a loss against. Everyone said, your fight was still 50-50 and Jack Catterall, I believe, should have won the first fight against Taylor. But
Right.
I think with both of your styles of how you're going to go, he says, from what I've heard, your team or some of your fans even say Catterall's not even a puncher. And Catterall's team is saying he has an underrated punch that you're going to feel. But we're going to find out. You're like, yes, bring it. And you're going back into the Lion's Den. You're going back to the UK. Do not make the same mistake of going early. You're fighting in a new arena. You guys are christening the Co-op Live in Manchester. Those fans are
Yes.
gonna be wild, boy.
They gonna be wild out there. They gonna be wild.
Wild.
Listen, the thing is, I know I'm gonna get a lot of boos at first, but then once the fight over, I beat Catterall. They gonna love me, and I'm not opposed to going back there again. Even if I'm fighting whoever I'm fighting, I like UK fans. I really do, and that's somewhere I feel like I should have spent more time over there. Yeah, I'm excited about everything. I'm definitely just excited about everything.
You're not worried that you're overtraining, because I know with Haney, I don't know if you're overtrained, but something was wrong. Since you've been training, you had to stop, and that's what sucks. And then you're now training again because you're a workforce. How do you know that you're not overtraining? Is your coach telling you? Is your wife telling you? What tells you?
Well, my coach will tell me. My coach will be like, listen, that's it. Today I spar, and like, all right, you're done. That's it. We don't need to, because I mean, listen, I train 3-4 times a day, and sometimes that is a little much. And like with the Haney thing, I definitely felt like it was overtraining for my mental, not really my physical. Like my physical feels fine all the time, but like my mental, it felt like it just was, because with the Haney fight, at first it was supposed to be in October, and I was training for that, and then they moved it to December, and I literally trained the whole time, and it's like I know I shouldn't have did that. So this time, I did something. What I did was Zepeda was when I fought Zepeda, I was supposed to fight Victor Postol. And they said, nah, you're not gonna fight him. You go fight for the belt, Zepeda. So they gave me a whole camp. So I was like, all right, I broke camp. I was already in camp and stuff like that, right? So I was like, all right, that's cool. So it's like a 2 type of camp type of thing. And I was like, all right. So what I did, I went to, one of my favorite places. I went to Cali, Colombia. I just went out there for a week and just enjoyed myself, had fun. Me and my cousin, my daddy went out there with me, my friends, we all went out there, just had a blast for a week and just had fun. So and then I came back to camp and I was like, all right, I need that's what I need, a mental break. The physical, I'm cool. I train year round anyway, because I just like to train. That's what I like to do. But mentally, you do need a break, because when you in this sport, you have so much to do every single day. And it could drain you mentally. So it's like, all right, this is what I did. I did that for Pater, but I didn't do it for the Haney fight, and it's something that I definitely should have. It's something I should have did. I should have took a little break, but I didn't because I wanted it so bad. And I was like, man, I'm just, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna train for this fight. Yeah, I took the break. I went to Dominican Republic. After that, I went to Dominican Republic. Then I went to New Orleans for a few days, and now it's just like, all right, I came back and I'm way more fresh.
Good. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you've or do what you've done in the past. The one phrase you will have to always be telling yourself: "Be you, be you in the ring against Jack
Yes,
Catterall."
be me.
That's the one thing. You don't get ahead of yourself. You vying for the WBO interim, both of you, and whoever wins, hopefully, will get to fight Teofimo Lopez. If that's going to be next, we're not sure.
Right. Right,
But yeah,
right.
that's going to be fun live on DAZN. Now, I know we're going to have to wrap up because I know you got to pick up your car. Just a couple things for you because, I'm going to do really quick predictions and then I'm going to do a fun little segment. Raquel will really enjoy this one. New Orleans versus Brazil. Mardi Gras
But
or Carnival?
man, you know what? I never been to Carnival yet, but I heard this. Raquel's been in New Orleans for Mardi Gras a few times, and she always say, "Y'all not messing with us." So I'm gonna say New Orleans. She gonna say Brazil. Obviously, I never been there yet, but I heard it's nuts. I heard it's is insane out there. So, but we was first. I tell her we was first. They got that from us. So because really, if you look
Did
at
they?
Mardi Gras, yes, Mardi Gras really originated in Alabama, and then from there, New Orleans, yes, Alabama, New Orleans took. I looked it up. New Orleans took it from us, and then after that, they took it and it's over there because
So
it's
wait,
the same. It's near the same time of year.
Alabama doesn't celebrate Mardi Gras at all? If
I
it,
think they do, but it's not. It's nowhere close. It's like something small. That's why. But it originated out there, and
oh.
then it went somewhere else, and it went to New Orleans, and then New Orleans made it real big, and then of course now we have Carnival and stuff like that out there.
Oh, yeah, I learned something new about Alabama. Okay. New Orleans Saints football or Brazil football, their soccer.
I'm saying Saints. I'm gonna say the Saints. Now I've been to their stadiums and it's crazy. As far
Mhm.
as but the Saints fans are crazy too. So I'm definitely gonna say the Saints, but I went to the they football game out there and it was nuts. It was insane. It was one of the craziest atmospheres you can be in. So it was crazy. Yeah,
Gumbo
feijoada,
versus
gumbo,
feijoada.
gumbo. For sure, gumbo. Yeah, I
Gumbo.
think she might say gumbo.
Okay, and then last one, beignets or brigadeiro.
Brigadeiro.
It's a truffle. They're well known
Oh,
for that.
beignets. Yeah,
Beignets.
beignets.
Okay. If you could be ringside for any fight, that past or present, which would it be?
I definitely would want to see Muhammad Ali fight. I think Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, the first fight, that the fight of the century, definitely would have to be ringside for that. It's no question about that. Joe Louis, I would want to be Joe Louis when he fought Max Smelling the second time. That was crazy. That's a crazy fight. And let me go somebody alive. Now I think I didn't see the Floyd versus Pacquiao fight, but I will if I sat ringside for that.
Now, you mentioned Mike Tyson, Allen Iverson, and Kobe Bryant were your biggest athletic inspirations. If you could ask them one question each, what would it be and why?
Oh man, it'll probably be
Maybe.
Kobe. Actually, I know Allen Iverson. That's the crazy thing, right?
Oh,
I met him in Vegas, and he knew who I was. I like, bro, that's insane. How do you know who I am? Allen Iverson. He's like, what's up, bro? And like everybody wanted to go up to him, take pictures, and like he was not having it. He wasn't. I'm not gonna say he wasn't friendly, but it's just like he probably get that all the time, so he wasn't having it. So then John Pascal. John Pascal went up
yeah.
to him and stuff, and John Pascal, he knows him. And I was talking to John Pascal at the time, and he was like, he turned around, he talked to Pascal, and I was kind of over his shoulder, and he looked, he was like, oh, what's up, bro? So me and him started talking. So yeah, Allen Iverson, no man, it's my favorite basketball player of all time. Kobe, I mean, it's not really a question I would ask Kobe. It's just like I would want to know, and I read books about him and stuff, just his work ethic, like where did he get that from? How hungry he was all the time. I just love. It's not like I said. It's not really one question I would ask him. It's just like, man, I would just want to be around him and see, how he works and stuff like that. Kobe just works so hard because he wanted to be great so bad, and it's just like, man, you have to look up to the Mamba mentality. And Mike Tyson, I met him also. It'd probably be something about maybe like his upbringing and Cus D'Amato. I know he gets real emotional talking about Cus D'Amato, so I would probably be, want to And another fight, maybe let's do 4. You say we did
You
3.
can do as
Let's
many.
let's put 4. I would want to be I definitely would want to be ringside for Tyson versus Burbick when he won the title at the youngest ever.
Oh.
That'll be a firefight to be at also.
Yeah, Ali Frazier 3 yesterday, Thrill Manila was their anniversary. And I
Oh,
know, yeah, and you had the Muhammad Ali, and that's what like strives you to be great. Yeah, that was their anniversary. I just remember that. Okay, now speaking of Mike Tyson, now we're gonna segue. This is a great segue. Predictions. Mike Tyson is actually fighting. It's a real fight against Jake Paul. We all thought it was gonna be fake, but I need a prediction for that. Sadly, I need a prediction.
I can't go against Mike Tyson. I can't. He's older, way older. Jake Paul is way younger, but I cannot go against Mike Tyson. I say Mike Tyson.
All right, Beterbiev versus Bivol coming up.
Ooh, that's a good one. I say Beterbiev. I go with Beterbiev.
By a knockout?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a 50-50.
That's a super great fight. I mean, this should be a huge fight, but yeah, I will go with Beterbiev.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, the rematch.
Who won the first?
Katie Taylor, but a lot of people thought Serrano. It was a very, very, very close fight.
I think I did watch that fight.
You should have. If you're a fight fan, trust me.
I think I watched it. Yeah, it was a close fight. It was like a war. I say Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor. All right. Crawford Fundora. I'm not sure if it's happening. I don't know. It keeps saying it is, but
Crawford. It's hard
Crawford. And I remember hearing Crawford. People be throwing out names Beterbiev at 154, but screw it. I'm going to ask you, Terrence Crawford and Beterbiev at 154.
Beterbiev by Killage, if that's a thing. Nah, Beterbiev. Crawford is great, but they make weight class for a reason. His last fight, he was getting hit a little bit. He was getting hit a little bit with that dude. He was fighting. So imagine that's a Beterbiev or Canelo. I just can't see it, but Crawford is, great. I think maybe 54 might be the highest he can go.
Because I know that a lot of people don't want to see Crawford versus Canelo. I don't. There's weight classes for a reason. Do you?
Right. Yes, it is. It's weight class for a reason. You can't get like a lightweight or something. I mean, you got the barbershop talk about things and people say all kinds of stuff. The stupid people in the barbershop, oh, Manny Pacquiao beat Mike Tyson, like stupid stuff like that. But they make weight class for a reason. So, I think 54 is probably, it's just because he had trouble with the last dude a little bit. Yeah, that's all. So I can't see it.
Okay, and last one, it just got announced, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach.
Tank. Yeah, you can't. Tank.
Easy.
Yeah, I think easy. I think stoppage. Easy stoppage.
All right, Regis, I took so much of your time, but I really wanted to talk so much about your book and touch up a little bit about Jack Catterall that you're going to be facing October 26th in Manchester at the Co-op Live Arena. Best of luck to you. Joy, and I cannot wait to see you guys October 26th. Final words to Jack Catterall.
I'll never have no words for him. I'll see you on the 26th. That's all. I'll see you October 26th. I don't have no words for him. I don't have no hateful words or no encouraging words, none of that stuff. I'll see you October 26th. That's it.
Oh, I forgot to ask you this. Your book is going to be made into a movie. I definitely see.
I know it will.
Who do you want to play you?
My son. My son. When he's bigger, my son looks just like me. It has to be my son. My daddy, look, I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom real bad. I'm gonna answer this. But I drink a gallon of water, then it runs through me. But anyway, my daddy thinks that Terrence Howard is gonna play him. He's like, oh, Terrence Howard's gonna play me. Like, all right, whatever. But I think my son, just like on NWA, where Ice Cube's son played him, I feel like my son, when it gets made to a movie, hopefully he's a little bigger, and we can make that happen for him.
And then lastly, can you just tell Lil Wayne I feel his pain that he's not headlining Super Bowl?
That's terrible. That's a shame. That is a shame. How do you not put Lil Wayne in the Super Bowl, bro? That don't make no sense. Like, that's a shame. I don't know why.
I like Kendrick, but come on, Kendrick is not from NOLA. All right.
Exactly.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Thank you so much, Regis, for your time. Make sure you guys get the book, Stories and Lessons from Regis Prograis. You can get on Amazon. Best of luck. All right, guys. Bye. I'm Cynthia Conte. See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.